because I want you guys to take notes, because I want you guys to kind of be able to take some of what I give you guys today, research it, and then you guys can maybe some lessons learned. So take out some pens and papers for me.
I like your jacket.
Thank you. Normally, I am actually going to the office after this. Normally when I speak at high schools, I kind of dress down, but I'm going to the office afterwards. So, thank you. Maybe we can talk on dress code too a little bit today. When it's time to go get a job. So awesome, all of you guys, we got pens and papers out, we're ready to go. So your treat to pay attention to me today is donuts afterwards, right? So really excited to be here, guys. A little bit about myself. Born and raised in Fayette, Mississippi. How many of you guys have heard of Mississippi? Okay. So born and raised there in Fayette, Mississippi. A very small community, very small community, very poverty-stricken community. Raised there by my mom, father, grandmother, and my mom and my father went through a really, really bad divorce. Right? Father suffered from mental illness. As a result, it landed us in even deeper poverty, right? So that poverty led my mom through a very big divorce and us trying to figure out where do we go from here. So you're talking about a young man at the age of 12 in a very poor community, where there are not many resources in Mississippi, going through this broken divorce with a mental ill father, right? And so I remember some days I would wake up in the mornings and I couldn't go to school because of the fear of something happening to my mom if I left to go to school, right? So went through that process of whatever. Fast forward, you know, a lot of times teachers and administrators may not understand what's going on at home. So they may say, oh, okay, this individual is not able to comprehend. So that happened to me. My teacher said, hey, I think you should put Duvalier in special education because he can't comprehend, he can't get it. And not only that I couldn't get it, I had problems at home, and that allowed me to say, hey, I'm going to settle for average. I'm going to just be average, right? So that conversation with my teacher to say, hey, I'm going to put Duvalier in special ed, kind of got me to the point where I said, okay, I need to do at least enough to get by, to settle. So how many times can you think about in your own life where you said, okay, I'm just going to settle for average. I'm just going to settle for the ordinary things in life. So I had a teacher who pulled me to the side at 16 and said, Duvalier, why won't you compete in this essay contest for Southwest Mississippi Power Association? It was an essay contest that allowed you the opportunity to travel to Washington, D.C. Remember what I just said, right, guys? I was poor. I had never traveled outside of Mississippi. Some days I thought about, my day was when I got home, would I have food on the table as my mom was going through this broken divorce? So that's all for me to have an opportunity to write an essay and to come to Washington, D.C. was almost not real for me, right? So I wrote this essay contest, had an opportunity to win the essay contest and to come to Washington, D.C. at the age of 16, right? At the age of 16, I came to Washington, D.C., had never traveled outside of the state of Mississippi, had never flown on an airplane before, and at that moment, I had an awakening moment. I began to meet people who had aspirations to go to universities that I had never heard of before. Because remember what I said, I was raised in a very poor community, not exposed to very much. But in that moment, I had an awakening moment to say, you know what? I can do whatever I want to do. That essay contest built confidence and self-esteem in me to understand that it doesn't matter where I come from, it doesn't matter my background, my economic situations, I can do whatever I want to do, and I don't want to settle for being just the average. It's time for me to start settling for being extraordinary. So had that opportunity, I came back from Washington, D.C., of course, excited to have had the opportunity to meet political leaders, people that did what I wanted to do. but I didn't know it was a reality. So I say all that to say, do not settle for being average. How many of you guys in here believe that you can do whatever it is that you put your mind to do? Raise your hands for me. So pretty much everyone. So if you believe that you can do whatever you put your minds to do, then I don't want you guys from this day forward to settle for average, right? So what happened to me? Because I was settling for average at the age of 16, think about it, at 16 I was 11th grade, getting ready to go to 12th grade, which means that I didn't have much time because it was time for me to get ready to go to college, right? So I came back, I pulled up my grades as much as I could to get into college. Began to apply for colleges, got rejected to a lot of schools because I hadn't prepared myself. So today, I want to talk to you guys about not being in a situation I was in where I ended up getting rejected from schools that I became, like Morehouse College. I wanted to go to Morehouse after I had that awakening moment. But because my grades wasn't where they needed to be, because my ACT score wasn't where it needed to be, I couldn't get admitted into that university. So I want to talk to you guys today about not going through what I went through. As a result of all of that, I believe all things work together for the good, right? So I had an opportunity to, after high school, to attend a small town, not very far from where I